Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. You know how this works. You send us the cool stuff you're reading, and we help you sift through it all, picking out the most interesting parts.
Exactly.
So today we are going to be diving into the future of Amazon's Alexa. We got some really interesting sources that you guys sent over, some YouTube videos from AI Revolution and CBS News, and an article from Tech Radar.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Yeah, it does. And it seems like Amazon's about to give Alexa a huge AI makeover. We're talking a potential subscription fee for an even smarter Alexa. The company struggles to make money from it, and the AI arms race with Google and ChatGPT.
I'm ready.
I am too.
Right.
So what's the big idea behind this upgrade?
Well, the goal is to make Alexa really conversational, almost like you're talking with a friend.
Okay, so instead of just like setting timers and playing music, Alexa could actually have like a good conversation.
Right. They want to use those generative AI models, which are really popular right now.
Cool. But is there anything we should be worried about with this new technology?
Yeah. There is one thing that gets kind of tricky. Generative AI is probabilistic, meaning it predicts what to say based on patterns it's learned.
Okay.
That's awesome for just casual chatting, but when you need Alexa to be reliable, like controlling your smart home or giving you accurate information,
Oh.
things get a bit risky.
So you're saying there's a difference between Alexa sounding smart and actually being smart?
Yeah, exactly. Tech Radar called it a brain transplant for Alexa, and I think that's a pretty good analogy.
Okay.
We're talking about replacing its old system with something much more powerful, but maybe also more unpredictable.
A brain transplant, huh?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty intense. What's in it for us? What could this upgraded Alexa actually do?
Well, just imagine saying, Alexa, order me a pizza, draft an email to my boss, and remind me about my dentist appointment tomorrow.
And it just does it.
And it just handles it all.
That's awesome.
Effortlessly.
Okay, now that's impressive. But is Amazon kind of late to this whole AI party? Google and OpenAI are already doing crazy things with their assistants?
You are absolutely right. CBS News even called this Amazon's last-ditch effort to keep Alexa relevant.
Oh, wow.
Google and OpenAI are already putting advanced AI into their products, and Amazon has to catch up fast.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
The AI Revolution video mentioned that Amazon actually tried to build their own AI for this, but didn't really work out.
Yeah, their in-house AI was way too slow in tests.
Wow.
Sometimes it took a full 7 seconds to respond.
Oh, my.
In a world of instant everything, that's like forever. They went with Anthropic's Claude AI model instead, which is known for its conversational skills.
Good.
And get this, they invested $4 billion in Anthropic.
$1 billion.
They're not messing around.
Wow. They must be really serious about this.
Huh?
But there's another big piece to all of this, right? The subscription thing.
Oh, yeah. The elephant in the room.
Uh-huh.
Amazon is considering charging a monthly fee, probably between $5 and $10 for this new Alexa.
Now, that is a bold move. People are so used to Alexa being free. Are they really going to pay for it? Especially when a lot of us are already paying for Amazon Prime.
That's the million-dollar question. Both YouTube videos mention this debate happening inside Amazon. Some think it's genius to finally make Alexa profitable, while others are worried it will turn users away.
It's a gamble for sure.
It is.
But it is interesting how this could change Amazon's whole business model.
Yeah.
Right now, Alexa's like a cool feature that helps them sell you more stuff.
Right.
But if they can get tons of people to pay a monthly fee, it becomes a totally new way for them to make money.
It does. Instead of making money when we buy things, they'd be making money just for us having Alexa in our lives.
That's a huge shift.
Yeah, and it could have effects across the entire tech industry. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's think about the user experience.
Okay, so let's think about someone who uses Alexa every day. What are the good and the bad of this AI upgrade?
Well, imagine an Alexa that can actually predict your needs.
Like a mind reader.
Haha, kind of. It remembers what you like, handles complicated things easily, and maybe even learns your sense of humor. It'd be like having a personal assistant who is always one step ahead.
I can see that. Think about all the time you'd save. No more making to-do lists, searching for info, or stressing about appointments.
Right.
Alexa would handle it all,
Uh-huh.
leaving you free to do more important things.
Exactly.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But I am thinking about that CBS News thing that called this a last-ditch effort for Amazon.
Yeah.
If they are struggling to make Alexa profitable, are they going to skimp on stuff like privacy?
That is a valid concern.
Yeah.
The more helpful Alexa becomes, the more data it needs to see. And that brings up some serious questions. What kind of data are they taking? How are they keeping it safe? And who else can see it?
Yeah, and we can't forget about AI making mistakes, too. We talked about those hallucinations where AI gives you wrong information, but it sounds right.
Right. Imagine you ask Alexa to book a flight, and it confidently books you a flight to the wrong city because it misunderstood.
Oh,
Not
no.
just inconvenient, it could really mess things up.
Yeah, so it seems like there's this tension between convenience and control. The more control we give to AI, the easier our lives might be,
Right.
but at what cost?
That's the big question. And there's no easy answer. But it's something we have to think about carefully as AI becomes a bigger part of our lives.
Okay, so let's say Amazon does pull this off. They make this super smart Alexa that everyone wants, and people are willing to pay for it.
Hmm.
What happens then?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. If Amazon can get millions of people to pay a monthly fee for Alexa, it could completely change their relationship with their customers.
Right now, it feels like I buy something from Amazon, they get money.
Yeah,
But with this subscription model, it's much more ongoing.
exactly. And that gives them so much more information about us, our habits, what we like.
Hmm.
They might even start using that to change the ads we see or the things they recommend to buy.
Okay, now that's getting a little creepy.
It is something to keep in mind. But there's also a possible upside.
Okay.
If Amazon uses that information responsibly, it could actually create a better experience for customers.
So could be good or bad, depending on what Amazon does.
Exactly. And that brings us back to whether or not to pay for this new Alexa. It's not just the money, it's about what you're willing to trade for convenience and personalization.
Okay, so let's say as Alexa. I'm not sure I see the good things about a smarter Alexa, but I'm also worried about privacy and how much it costs.
Yeah.
What should I think about before I decide?
First, think about how you use Alexa now. Are you someone who just uses it for basic stuff, or do you depend on it a lot for managing your schedule, controlling your smart home, or getting information?
Okay, so if I use it all the time, I might be more likely to pay for the better features. But what about the privacy stuff?
That's the hard part. We don't have a lot of info about what Amazon is planning to do with our data and privacy with this Alexa. They haven't said much.
So we have to trust them even though we don't know what they're going to do.
It's a bit of a gamble, and that's why it's so important to stay informed and keep asking questions. Don't just accept whatever new stuff they put out.
Right? We need to be smart and make our own choices about the technology we let into our lives. But there's one more thing we haven't talked about yet, the whole robotics thing.
Oh, yeah. The bigger picture.
While Alexa is the face of Amazon's AI stuff, it's definitely not their only focus. Remember that example of Amazon Q, their internal AI?
Oh, yeah.
The one saving them millions of dollars and tons of time? That was crazy.
It shows how Amazon is using AI to make their own work better and faster. And this connects to something from the AI Revolution video, Amazon's growing interest in robots.
You mean those robot arms that can sort packages and move things in warehouses?
Exactly. Amazon has been investing a ton in robotics for years, and they bought this company called Covariant, which is a big sign of where things are going. Covariant builds robots that can learn and do new tasks using AI.
So it's not just about automating stuff, but about robots that can actually learn and solve problems on their own.
Exactly. And when you put that together with Amazon's huge delivery network and their AI knowledge, you start to see a future where robots are even more important in how things are made, stored, and delivered.
That's both exciting and a little scary. I can't help but think about what will happen to jobs and the economy.
It's something to definitely think about. As AI and robotics get better, some jobs will be automated and others will change.
Absolutely. We need to talk about how to handle this change and make sure that everyone benefits. But hey, before we get lost in the future, let's see where we are in our deep dive.
Sounds good.
Let's stop here for a second. We'll pick things back up in part 2, where we'll wrap up talking about the future of Alexa and what it means for you. See you soon.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the future of Alexa.
So we've talked about the tech behind this, upgrade the competition, and even Amazon's idea to charge for it.
Right, but now let's get practical. What does all this mean for you, the user?
Right, because technology should make our lives easier, not harder.
Exactly. So let's start with the good stuff. Imagine an Alexa that's not just reacting, but it's actually thinking ahead.
Okay.
It anticipates what you need, remembers what you like, and just makes things happen without you lifting a finger.
I'm picturing this. I walk in after a long day, and Alexa's already dimmed the lights turned on my playlist and maybe even preheated the oven because it knows I usually cook dinner around that.
Exactly.
Wow.
And think of all the mental energy you'd save. No more to-do lists, scrambling for info, or stressing about appointments.
Yeah.
Alexa handles it all, leaving you free to focus on what really matters.
That sounds pretty amazing. But I'm remembering that CBS News piece that called this a last-ditch effort for Amazon.
Uh-huh.
If they're having trouble making money from Alexa, are they going to cut corners on privacy?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
The more helpful Alexa becomes, the more data it needs. And that brings up some serious questions. What are they collecting? How are they protecting it? And who else might have access to it?
And let's not forget about AI making mistakes.
Oh.
We talked about those hallucinations where AI gives you wrong info, but it sounds totally right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine asking Alexa to book a flight, and it confidently books you a flight to the wrong city.
No.
Not just inconvenient, it could really mess things up.
So it's like this balance between convenience and control. The more we let AI do, the easier things might be, but at what cost?
That's the question, isn't it? And there's no easy answer. But we need to think about it as AI becomes a bigger part of our lives.
Okay, so let's say Amazon figures this out. They make this super smart Alexa, everyone loves it, and people actually pay for it.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. If Amazon can get millions of people to pay a monthly fee for Alexa, it could completely change how they work with their customers.
Right now, it's like I buy something, they get money.
Yeah,
But with a subscription, it's constant.
exactly. And that gives them a whole new level of understanding about our lives, our habits, and what we like. They might even use that data to change the ads we see or the products they recommend.
Okay, now that's a little Big Brother-ish.
It is something to be aware of, but there's also a potential upside.
Okay.
If they use that data the right way, it could actually lead to a much better experience for customers.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Huh?
It could go either way depending on what Amazon does.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the question of paying for this upgraded Alexa. It's not just about the cost, it's about what you're willing to give up for convenience and having things your way.
So let's say I'm on the fence. I see the good things about a smarter Alexa, but I'm not sure about the privacy stuff and the cost. What should I think about before I decide?
Well, first think about how you use Alexa now. Do you just use it for basic stuff, or do you rely on it for like managing your schedule, controlling your smart home, and getting information?
Okay, so if I use it all the time, I might be more likely to pay for the extra features. But what about those privacy concerns?
That's the tricky part. We don't really know what Amazon's plan is for data and privacy with this new Alexa. They haven't said much about it.
So we just have to trust them.
It is a bit of a gamble,
Yes,
and that's why it's
what?
important to stay informed and ask questions. Don't just go along with whatever new stuff they come up with.
Right. We need to be smart and make our own choices about the technology we let into our lives.
Ah,
But there's one more piece of this we haven't touched on yet. That whole robotics thing.
yes, the bigger picture.
Alexa might be the most well-known part of Amazon's AI work, but it's definitely not their only focus.
Right.
Remember Amazon Q? Their internal AI,
Yeah.
the one saving them millions of dollars and tons of developer hours.
Exactly. It shows how Amazon is using AI to improve and speed up their own work. And this connects to something from the AI Revolution video, Amazon's increasing interest in robots.
You mean those robot arms that sort packages and move stuff around warehouses?
Exactly. Amazon has been putting a lot of money into robotics for a while now. And they bought this company called Covariant, which tells us a lot about what they're thinking. Covariant builds robots that can learn and do new things using AI.
So it's not just about doing the same tasks over and over, but about robots that can learn and solve problems.
Precisely. And when you combine that with Amazon's giant delivery network and all their AI knowledge, you can start to see a future where robots are even more important in how things are made, stored, and delivered.
Wow, that's both exciting and a little scary.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about what will happen to jobs and the economy as a whole.
It's definitely something to think about. As AI and robotics become more advanced, it's likely that some jobs will be automated while others will change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to talk about how to handle these changes and make sure everyone benefits from them. But hey, before we get too caught up in the future, let's take a step back and see where we are.
Sounds good.
Let's pause here and we'll come back in part 3 where we'll finish up talking about the future of Alexa and what it means for you. See you soon.
Okay, deep divers, we're back and ready to wrap up our look at the future of Alexa and this whole AI world.
Feels like we've been through a lot. We have from the tech behind the upgrade to the competition Amazon's facing.
Mm-hmm.
We even talked about how things might change for Amazon if they get people to pay for a smarter Alexa.
And we can't forget about those bigger implications of AI and robotics.
It's crazy how a conversation about Alexa turned into this huge discussion about the future of work, the economy, and our relationship with technology.
It really shows how everything's connected. We start with Alexa, and suddenly we're thinking about robots and AI changing entire industries.
So let's try to sum things up and give our listeners some key takeaways.
Good idea. First, let's recap. Amazon wants to make Alexa more conversational, more intelligent, and better at handling complicated tasks using generative AI.
They're doing this partly because they're feeling the pressure from Companies like Google and OpenAI, who are already doing amazing things with AI assistants.
Right.
And of course, they want to make Alexa profitable, which is why they're thinking about that subscription fee.
We also talked about the good things a smarter Alexa could bring, like convenience, personalization, and freeing up our mental energy.
But we also discussed the potential downsides, like privacy concerns, the risk of AI making mistakes, and the feeling of giving up control to technology.
And we looked at how this Alexa upgrade fits into Amazon's bigger AI plans. Their investments in robotics, automating their own work, and their vision for a future where AI is even more important.
So what's the bottom line? What should our listeners be thinking about as they navigate this changing world of AI?
The biggest takeaway is that we're at a turning point. AI isn't just a futuristic idea anymore. It's quickly becoming part of our everyday lives.
And that means we need to be informed. We need to ask questions, understand the trade-offs, and make choices about the technology we let into our homes and our lives.
We need to think about the good things AI can do, but also be aware of the risks. We need to talk about how to make sure AI is used ethically and responsibly in a way that benefits everyone.
Absolutely. And on that note, we want to leave you with one final thought to think about. As AI becomes more advanced and more a part of our lives, what does it mean to be human? What values and skills will be even more important in a world where machines can do so much?
That's a good question.
These are big questions, and we don't have all the answers, but we hope this deep dive has given you some things to think about and sparked your curiosity about the future of AI. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast for more deep dives into fascinating topics just like this one. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and keep asking questions.